Yes. So good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. It's a cold day today. It's cold. It's freezing, in fact. It's not even cold. It is freezing out there today. Make sure you get your scarves, your hats, your gloves. You're wrapping up warm, keeping yourself healthy because those cold winter months are coming. So you got to make sure you're looking after yourselves. I hope you're all well, though. I do. We're here to talk Arsenal this morning. An interesting piece. I've been deliberating whether or not to cover this on the channel for a week or so now, waiting for a more firm decision to be made. And up until maybe half an hour ago, it was very much looking like William Saliba would be leaving Arsenal this season on loan. There have been a number of issues since he's joined the club. Of course, first and foremost, the untimely passing of his mother, which for any person is painful enough. But when you're the age of William Saliba, only in his late teens, it's still a very early age to be losing a parent, especially your mother. So he's had that to contemplate and deal with in recent times, as well as being so young and moving to a new country, moving to a club. With all due respect to Saint-Etienne, the expectation levels at Arsenal, even with sort of the turmoil that Arsenal have been in over the past maybe 4 or 5 years, the expectations levels here are so much higher than they are anywhere else. And he struggled. He struggled to impose himself. The reports coming out of Arsenal, I'm reading this here, that William Saliba, they looked to loan him back. They said he's not adapted to life in London particularly quickly. And it was hoped that they would be able to find a club, either going back to Saint-Etienne on loan or maybe find a championship club this morning for him, for him to go and be at and play at. And that simply doesn't look like it's going to be the case. It looks as though Arsenal are going to be keeping him this season, which I think is a very strange decision because I want to make sure I'm saying this right. With everything going on, I'm looking at Similar. By the way, William Saliba is a top talent. There is no doubt about that. But William Saliba is a very young man who's moved to the UK and who's had a lot of upset in his personal life. Man United had a very parallel situation to this with Dan James. Dan James came in and he played too much football too soon. He had the passing of his father happen, the pressure of Manchester United. And, there are a lot of level-headed United fans think that overall pressure, upheaval, and angst that created of what have pretty much led to his career kind of fizzling out. And I look at this decision by Arsenal to not look at loaning him out, to not look at, I know that Saint-Etienne, they said, I came in a little bit too late, but how proactive were Arsenal in trying to find somewhere for him to go to create a better environment for him as a young man? Going back to France would have been ideal. Go back to France, being familiar surroundings, be close to your family, just to help him through the next 12 months. Keeping him in London, where Arsenal have already confirmed that he hasn't settled particularly well, where it doesn't look like he's going to get a lot of game time. They really could ruin this talent by doing that. And I hope, on a footballing level, I do hope I'm wrong. I don't want anyone's career to be ruined. As a rival, of course, I don't want William Saliba to turn out well for Arsenal, because at the end of the day, so I've got to take his tea bag out, my cup of tea. At the end of the day, he's a top player. And you can't get away from that. You legitimately can't get away from it at all. 1 second here. I've got to send a message. So yeah, that's how I think and feel in relation to that. I think that they're just they're taking a massive risk. But I want your views. I want your opinions. Skype lines are now open, so you can phone in via Skype. You can come on and have your say. Before I do that, though, please smash those like buttons. We want to fly past 100 likes before we take our first call of the day. But as I say, I want to know what you're thinking and feeling about that, especially you Gooners out there. A comment here saying he will settle. We can't have a Torreira situation again. Great player with great potential, but couldn't settle. Listen, that's from Harsh. Listen, I hear you. You don't want that to happen. But a lot of sensible Arsenal fans that I've spoken with this morning believe that it's the wrong decision. You know, left out. Wow, I didn't even realize this until I was reading this here. He's been left out of the comment here from the Guna Talk TV, which says this isn't good news, really considering that the guy needs to play and that isn't likely to happen. He's been left out of the Europa League squad as well. I didn't realize that. I'm not as close to Arsenal news as maybe I should be. So he's not in that squad. The League Cup doesn't even kick off again until December. So he ain't playing in that competition. He's nowhere near the first team right now. He hasn't settled in London. His mother has recently passed away, and of course, he's feeling the devastation and the pain and the heartache of that. He's in a brand new country. He's young. Like, lockdown's still pretty much on, right? So it isn't like he can go out and experience London and experience the UK like a player normally would. He's training. He's going to a hotel or going to an apartment that's been rented for him, and that's all he's doing. How much is he getting to? For me, it's a difficult one. If he's 3 or 4 years older, maybe it's a bit easier. But I'm serious. This could be a terrible, terrible decision by Arsenal Football Club. It really could. You know, FIFA here says £30 million for a player, not even to put him in your squad. Igal will come on here and say he is the centre back whilst he's on the bench. Listen, strongest villain. Like, there's no defending this decision, but there is defending the decision. I'm a liar when I say that. I don't mean that literally. What I mean is I can't fathom and understand it. Now I know a lot of Arsenal fans have got faith in Mikel Arteta at the moment, which makes sense. But all managers at all levels at all times make mistakes, and this just feels like a huge mistake for me. Monstro here says Arteta wants him to get full fitness after injuries from last season. Stop trolling for once. Bro, then why is he not in the Europa League squad? Come on, bro. Put some critical thinking into this. Listen to what other Arsenal fans are saying. It's crazy. This is what another comment here says. This isn't good news at all. This is bowing to the classic Arsenal new toy syndrome instead of looking at what is best for the player. Yeah, but it's true. You know, it's listening again. I'm listening to Arsenal fans on this in terms of their opinion, but I agree with it completely. I think this decision to keep Saliba could absolutely. Sorry, weird emails I'm getting this morning. Absolutely just destroy things. I really do. Let's do a few more of your live comments here. Levi Craig says the Arsenal gossip said that William Saliba, they need better players to Arsenal. That makes sense. Your comment, Levi, write that again and make it make sense to me. A comment here from Ad34RT says, I think it's a bad idea. Better just keep him in the Europa League squad and train with the squad. Decide to loan him out once he's actually played in the Arsenal shirt. He's not in the Europa League squad, bruv. He can't play in that competition, right? They clearly don't think he's ready yet for Premier League football. When is he going to be? Honestly, you might find that he goes through the season barely making an appearance. And that isn't great. That really isn't great for him. Time Bandit here says Arteta is a good manager, so he can make average players do a good job. A comment here from Migs14 says, you are right, Terry. Arsenal are hampering his career like they have done with several talents. Gnabry is one of them. Yeah, maybe. Look, and they could get this absolutely right, by the way. This could end up being the best thing for him. And if by magic, here he is, man like Igal is on the line, but we're going to go to Igal's call in a moment. Before we go to Igal's call, hit the like button. Let's get this past 100 likes. Then we're going to get Igal on the line. I'm really intrigued to see what he thinks about this decision to keep William Saliba, who, again, we'll reiterate again, struggled to settle in London. Of course, he's had the very big upheaval of his mother passing away. I only just found out now. I didn't know this, but left out of the Europa League squad. They weren't able to loan him back to Saint Etienne in time. According to David Ornstein this morning, he is not going to be loaned out. There are many Arsenal fans, plus myself as a United fan, that think this could end up being a disastrous decision that ruins and destroys William Saliba. Gal is on the line. Gal, what do you make of this interesting decision to keep him out of the Europa League squad, but then not to loan him out, so he's going to get very little game time, when Arsenal have confirmed that he struggled to settle in London? Give me your opinions, mate.
We have, Terry, at the club, we have so many center-back options right now that it makes sense to put him a part of the match. Sorry. It makes sense to put him part of the match day squad, so he goes towards the quota for the young players. So later on, he can possibly be considered homegrown. But when it comes to Europa League, I don't think he's ready yet. Honestly,
can he be considered part of the homegrown because he's over 18? I thought you had to join the. I think, and I could be wrong, that to be considered part of the homegrown contingent, you have to join the club you're at as a full-time player before the age of 18. If you go,
yeah, last year we had him registered as a player, Terry, for us, even though he was in Saint Etienne.
Okay, so that counts then. Okay, so can he? So, yeah. But does that mean? But he is out of the Europa League squad. Is that right, or is he part of the young contingent that can come through?
He can still come through as a young player.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. But what's your opinion on this? I mean, there are lots of Arsenal fans today, and I'm not. This isn't hyperbole from me. You've got a lot of them saying this is a strange decision. He should be getting game time. We should have worked harder to get him back to France because he hasn't settled. And forget the games, like he hasn't settled in London. And then the situation with his mother is a big thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I generally think that his whole life has changed after that whole situation, and we don't know where his headspace is at. And I don't want to really comment on the whole situation with his mom, so I'll try to stay away from that. But when it comes to the footballing side of things, Terry, the club has so many center back options that I think they wanna protect William Saliba, and the stuff that I've been hearing about Arsenal people like Arsblog and Arscast, they were talking about how William Saliba, the club wants to get him up to scratch with the Premier League, and they want to get him some situation in the Championship. And I was hoping that he would actually go on loan, because I think it would actually be too soon for us to be just throwing him into big games against the likes of Liverpool, City, Leicester, the games that are coming up. So I don't really think he's going to get much game time, and I would have loved to see him go out on loan. So the reason why he probably didn't go out on loan is because the club doesn't want to give him a loan to a team that they think is going to get battered consistently, and he's going to get exposed or hurt, or it could hurt his development. They want to set him out to a good environment where the team has plenty of the possession and plays similar to our playing style. That's why Brentford was the only real option.
And I think you're right. I think they may not have been able to find him a suitable club, but he's been with you now for months, and it can't just have been noticed. I think it's a very difficult thing to do. Move to a new 19 just after the passing of your mother, to a very high demanding team, high demanding league, and at the same time, you're living in an environment which isn't normal. So imagine moving to you've moved to a new country. Imagine when you first moved to the UK, bruv. Yeah. You're pretty much stuck in your apartment and work. And you didn't get to experience and learn and settle and customize to everything that's kind of going on there. Do you get where I'm coming from? And I think that's the bit that stands out for me. So, and then on top of that, I just don't see him getting a lot of game time at all. And that would worry me. And all of that could eat away at the player. And like I've said already, as a football fan, I hope this doesn't ruin him. But there is a part of me that just in the back of my mind, I just feel like it's the perfect storm that could damage him in the longer term.
It has to do a lot with the wage structure of our players too. Because think about this: next year, David Luiz expires. Next year, Socrates expires. Next year, Mustafi expires, and we might get another center back in also. So I generally think they're just waiting to get a bunch of these bigger wage center backs off the books before we bring him back in. And right now, he's what is he? He's making around 40K. So it makes sense to not include him and have these guys who are making more money in the team, because just structurally wise, you need to get them off your books next year, right? Anyways. So why not let this guy have a year to develop?
I get that. Are you... One sec, bro.
Yeah.
Are you worried about Are you worried about this deal, or not this deal? Are you worried about this situation damaging him, though? Do you think that there's any chance that it could, to rare a level, Dan James wise? We've seen these examples in recent years of players that have gone to clubs at young ages. For whatever reason, they're either used too much too soon or not used enough, or they don't settle in, or they have some upheaval in their personal life very early on and it damages their career. Are you worried this could happen to Saliba? Because he was the guy, when you guys had Gabriel and him coming in, Saliba was probably the guy that more people then compared to, more people thought that Saliba would be the first teamer over Gabriel straight away. Do you remember?
I would tell you this, Terry. He's 18 years old. He hasn't had a lot of first team football, and it's not a shock to my system that we're protecting him. I look at it more as we're protecting him than it is we could ruin him, because I feel like if he was to be playing week in, week out, it could ruin him quicker than if he was getting exposed week in, week out as an 18-year-old, than if we actually protect him and bring him back in when he's 19 next year.
No, I hear that. Sorry, I just got to send an email here. I'll be in.
No problem. Anyways, bro, I just wanted to call in because I seen you were talking about this. But I have to go to
absolutely,
work,
no problem at
so
all, mate. I appreciate you coming on, having your say, mate. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.
no problem. Peace, man.
Top man. Take it. Sounds like you woke up as well. Time Bandit, thank you very, very much for becoming an official squad member of the Football Terrace. Everyone who is tuning in, all of you can become squad members as well, or academy members, or first team members, or legends of the Football Terrace by simply clicking on the link in the description below under become a member, or the join button right about now. Ashton here with the super chat says maybe they are going to loan him to France in January. Yeah, and look, January isn't that far away, to be fair. Isn't that far away at all. I know a lot of people here are saying to me, Terry, can you talk about this new league that Man United and Liverpool are trying to create? We're going to do that later. I need to read about it a lot more before I comment on it. I've got to read the article. I'm actually trying to reach out to a few people that have a bit of information on this to gain an understanding. Mansour Ahmed here says, I do remember Arsenal fans hyping Saliba more than Gabriel. Oh, they certainly did. But that's because they'd never seen him play. And also football fans never take into consideration what's going on in the mind of a player. It's all about the football. It's all about the physical. It's all about the obvious, as opposed to how they're thinking and feeling. And Man United suffered with this problem when it came to Dan James. He wasn't ready for Man United first team football, but because of he played via necessity rather than ability. And I think it really damaged him. Like, I truly, truly believe that. Time Bandit here says, don't expect that 350k saved on Ozil to go back into the club anytime soon. But there's also an £8 million bonus to pay to Ozil as well that I'd reading about today, which is obviously not good news. It really isn't. Tony McD here says, they said Saliba isn't ready for our first team. He's 18. He was 19, actually. Send him to a good playing team in the Championship where he will learn from the energetic rough league. Tony, I agree with you. They should do that, but it looks like they're not. David Ornstein has confirmed this morning that they will not be sending him out on loan. That's kind of the decision we're talking about here. That could ruin him, in my opinion. Mansour here says, I wish I had Ozil's lifestyle. Absolutely chilling. Yeah, I mean, right now his life's crazy, bro. Shavem here says, why have we bought him for 30 million if he's not ready? Well, you never know whether somebody's ready or not when it comes to them. How do I put this in the right way? When it comes to them moving to a new country, because you never know how somebody's going to adapt. Some people move, and lots of you listening will probably move cities, move countries. Some of you probably move continents before, and some of you do it and you settle in, click. I love where I am now. This is easy. This is great. Other people do these big moves, have these big upheavals in their lives, and it damages them. It hurts them. It takes them a long, long time to get around things. And I think it's horses for courses in many ways. Tony here, the Arsenal fan, says, Arsenal fans hype Saliba. Of course, we knew that he was quality for Centetti, and doesn't mean he's going to be an instant fit to the Premier League. That's very, very true. Francis here says, people are on about something we really know. Mikel Arteta has seen where he lacks and knows keeping him at Arsenal won't allow him much game time at the moment to fix that. And listen, this is the thing, right? Arteta and Arsenal making a decision which they think is best. And some of you might just say, I'm not going to have an opinion on it. I'm just going to trust my club. And that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I'm just saying, I think that could be, I think the kid's going to want to play. If he goes 3, 4, 5 months, barely kicking a ball, it could hamper things further. But time will tell. Dinesh here, one of my members, says, morning, Terry. What about this money ball? What to invest in Liverpool? Mate, that comment doesn't make any sense to me, bro. I'm really sorry. I can't even understand it. Listen, everyone who was tuned in this morning, thank you very, very much. As always, do me a big, big favor and smash that like button. Back later today with more football news for you, more football chat. And from tomorrow, we start the big previews for the Premier League returning this week. And what an epic weekend we have. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant this weekend. Can't wait for it. But until next time, everyone, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all soon.